Okay, so for today, we are going to discuss about psychological first aid. We have already, or I have already uploaded some information about psychological first aid. Okay, so there are some videos in Filipino and in English trying to explain how is psychological first aid being done in the Philippine setting and in sorry in the other countries. Okay, so for this unit 5, in understanding concepts of psychological first aid, we are going to discuss about understanding psychological first aid, providing psychological first aid, how to help responsively, and how to care for yourself and your colleagues. Now, under understanding PFA, we are going to dig deeper about this. So we will be discussing about how do crisis events affect people. We are going to explain what is psychological first aid and the who, when, and where of PFA. So we will start with how do crisis events affect people. So one of the things that I have asked, I'm not sure if both the courses that I have handled were able to identify who are the affected people when there are some crisis events happening or some crisis in situations. So like yung mga natural disasters, okay? Or yung mga war, okay? So this actually affects not only an individual, this can also affect families, the entire community, okay? And kumbaga this can be a small group or halos karamihan. So if you can still remember um typhoon super typhoon Yolanda, this affects the Philippines, okay, and other neighboring countries, okay. But yung COVID-19, hindi lang sa Asia ito, kung hindi halos buong mundo is affected by this crisis situation, itong pandemic, 'di ba? So this actually affects people, a lot of people. And with this, we may lose yung mga natural disasters, we may lose or other people may lose their homes, their loved ones. There may be some separation with the family members or being separated with the community. Or sometimes we may witness some violence, destruction, or sometimes, or worse, death. Okay? So everyone is affected some way by these events. And these are a wide range of reactions and feelings each person can have. So many people may be overwhelmed. Merong mga tao na hindi. Okay? But sometimes, yun nga, there are some people who might be overwhelmed or confused or very become uncertain about what is happening. Okay? And they can feel very fearful or anxious or numbed and detached. Some people may have mild reactions, okay? Kasi nga, it depends on their situations. Okay? And sometimes, meron din namang mga severe reactions. Yung minsan, sabihin natin, ay, ang over naman ng reactions nila. 'Di ba? So, iba-iba, the reactions may vary in different individuals. Okay? Now, how do crisis events affect people? So, some react depends on many factors. So, this might include yung the severity of the event that they experience. Sometimes, yung iba, they can um, um, react na parang they are cool with it. Okay, they can manage the situation, but to others, nagiging hysterical sila. So they can also experience with yung kumbaga yung parang reactions depends on their experience with their previous distressing events. So kung meron na silang naging ganitong klase ng experience before, pwedeng isipin nila na naranasan ko na 'to, so parang wala na lang sa akin 'to. Or sometimes yung iba naman dahil naranasan na nga nila, so mas nagiging malala yung nagiging ah, parang effect sa kanila. Okay? So the support that they have in their life from others. So ano ba yung support na present sa kanila ngayon? Do they have family members? Do they have friends? Do they have loved ones na parang pwedeng sumuporta sa kanila during these times of parang crisis? Yung kanilang physical health, okay? Meron ba silang pinagdadaan ng physical problems? So, their family, personal and family history of mental health problems. So, ang family ba nila ay meron bang history ng depression, trauma, o kaya naman meron bang mga mental health issues? Yan. Their cultural background and tradition, sila ba ay kumbaga parang kasi yung ating kultura may also affect our way of dealing with crisis situations. And of course, our age. Children, if you can still remember, dun sa una nating diniscuss about mental health, di ba? Children are one of those who are easily affected by crisis events because syempre, hindi naman nila alam kung anong gagawin. And yung mga matatanda, sobrang tanda because they are helpless, 'di ba? So they can act differently. We act differently based on our age. Now, ano nga ba ang PFA? So, according to Sphere and IASC, psychological first aid describes a humane, supportive response to a fellow human being who is suffering and who may need support. Okay, so this involves providing practical care and support which does not intrude. So kung babalikan natin yung video na present doon sa GMA 7, 'di ba? Pinakita doon yung what is PFA and what is not. 'Di ba? So hindi intrusive ang PFA, hindi tayo namimilit doon. So we assess needs and concerns, we help people to address basic needs. So ano ba yung pinakaunang kailangan nating i-consider? Magpi-PFA ba agad tayo o do we need to address muna yung basic needs nila? Baka nauuhaw sila. So we provide them water or food muna kung nagugutom sila. Or baka wala silang damit, nilalamig sila. So magche-change muna ng clothes before we provide PFA. So listening to people. So we do not pressure them to talk. So we can offer our listening ears but we do not pressure them na sige magsalita ka, magkwento ka sa akin. So this also involves comforting people and helping them to feel calm. Okay, so pinapakalma natin sila and helping people connect to information, services, and social supports. Ito yung tinatawag natin na link. So, kinokonekta natin sila. Like for example, kailangan nila ng ambulance, kailangan nila ng tulong sa hospital. So, kinoconnect natin sila doon. O kaya naman, kailangan ba nila ng mga psychological services. So, that's how we link them to these services. And also, this involves protecting people from further harm. And this also involves factors that seem to be most helpful to people's long term recovery. Okay, so this includes feeling safe, connected to others, calm and hopeful, having access to social, physical, and emotional support, and feeling able to help themselves as individuals and communities. And what PFA is not. So this is not something that only professionals can do. So kaya nga pinoprovide ito sa mental health na subject because also kayo bilang estudyante can also do PFA. This is not professional counseling. So hindi tayo nagka-counseling dito. Hindi rin tayo psychological debriefing. So it does not necessarily involve a detailed discussion of the event that caused the distress. So hindi natin gagawin 'yon. And it is not also asking someone na mag-analyze nung kung ano yung nangyari, bakit nangyari ito, um, or to put time and events in order. 'Di ba? So, hindi ito yung mismong parang process ng debriefing. And although PFA involves being available to listen to people's stories, it is not about pressuring people to tell your feelings and reactions to an event. At ano nga ba ito? O para kanino nga ba ito? So, PFA is offered to distressed people who have been recently exposed to a serious crisis event. And it can be provided to help both yung mga bata at mga adults. Okay? And however, Not everyone who experiences a crisis event will need or want PFA. So kaya nga hindi natin 'to ipinipilit sa ibang tao. Like for example, merong mga tao na kumbaga parang nasunugan, naapektuhan ng mga bagyo, ganyan. But sometimes they really do not want to parang be provided with PFA. So hindi hindi sila lahat kumbaga parang nabibigyan ng PFA, or kumbaga parang iniisip nila they don't need it. So, hindi natin pwedeng i-push sa kanila yon. And we do not force help on people who do not want it. So, kumbaga parang sa atin, we are just here telling them that we are available, and if they are already ready or if they want support, we are just here to help. Okay? So, people who need more immediate advanced support are those people with serious life-threatening injuries who need emergency medical care. So ito, pwede nating bigyan ng link sila sa mga medical health professionals, o yung mga medical professionals, okay? Or people who are upset and cannot care for themselves or their children. Okay, so pwede rin natin silang tulungan. People who may hurt themselves, or yung mga suicidal, or who may hurt others, yung mga aggressive or nagkakaroon ng mga pag-aamok, 'di ba? So, pwede nating i-offer yung immediate advance support sa kanila. Kailan natin to in-offer? Although people may need access to help and support for a long time after an event, PFA is aimed at helping people who have been very recently affected by a crisis event. So we can provide PFA when you first have contact with very distressed people. So this is usually during or immediately after an event. However, it may sometimes be days or weeks after, depending on how the event lasted and how severe it was. So, going back to Yolanda, there are some group of psychologists and psychometricians and psychiatrists na nagsama-sama, and dahil nga naging mahirap yung travel going to the Visayas region, 'di ba, yung mga affected ng Yolanda, it took them some days and weeks para makapag-provide. And actually, when they arrived doon sa mga areas na kanilang tinutulungan, hindi agad sila nag-provide ng PFA. Inalam muna nila ano ba yung pinakang need muna ng mga tao, 'di ba? So, yung when is hindi immediate, okay? Kailangan munang i-assess yung situation, and then saka ipo-provide kung ano yung immediate need nila. And then once na na-satisfy na yung need nila at need nila ng psychological first aid, at talagang nangangailangan sila and willing sila na mag-undergo ng PFA, then that's the time that we offer them PFA. Okay? And you can offer PFA wherever it is safe enough for you to do so. So it is often in community settings such as the scene of an accident or places where distressed people are served, such as yung mga nasa health centers, mga nasa evacuation centers, yung mga camps, yung mga nadala sa schools and distribution sites for food and other types of help. So ideally, we try to provide PFA where we can have some privacy to talk with the person when appropriate. Hindi natin to gagawin sa gitna ng maraming tao, 'di ba? So, hahanap tayo ng mga pribadong lugar na safe naman, both doon sa kausap natin at sa atin mismo. So, for people who have been exposed to certain types of crisis events, such as sexual violence, privacy is essential for confidentiality and to respect the person's dignity. Okay? Now, how to help responsibly? So, ito yung mga bagay na kailangan nating i-consider. Respect, safety, dignity, and rights. Adapt what to do to take accounts of the person's culture, and be aware of other agency response measures. So, let's start with the first one. So, when you take on the responsibility to help in situations where people have been affected by a distressing event, now it is important to act in ways that respect the safety, dignity, and rights of the people you are helping. Okay, so once na volunteer tayo, ito yung mga bagay na kailangan nating i-consider. So the following principles apply to any person or agency involved in humanitarian response, including those who provide PFA. So in safety, we avoid putting people at further risk or harm as a result of your actions. So kunwari, um, sila ay victim ng sexual assault, 'di ba? So, hindi natin sila ilalagay mismo doon sa parang mas magdadagdag pa ng harm sa kanila. Like for example, ma-e-expose pa sila sa mga, kunwari sa media or other people na mapagtsitsismisan pa sila. So, it can also cause harm to them. So, make sure to the best of your ability that the adults and children you help are safe and protect them from physical or psychological harm. Yan. Dignity naman is to treat people with respect and according to their cultural and social norms. So, lagi nating tatandaan na hindi lahat ng tao ay pare-pareho. So, meron tayong mga kultura, tradisyon. Kung naaalala ninyo, wala ito kinalaman sa crisis, pero merong mga katulad doon sa isang beauty pageant na inayusan lang ni Megan Yang yung isang um, ang tawag dito, isang contestant. Whether it is true or not, 'di ba? There are some things that we need to consider na baka sa ibang kultura ay hindi pwedeng hawakan ang mukha o yung other body parts ng isang tao. And kunwari, lalo na sa Japan, 'di ba? Masyadong parang bawal silang tingnan ng direkta kasi, it can cause them some parang shame or parang mapapahiya sila, 'di ba? O kaya naman merong iba na sa kultura nila bawal silang basta-basta na lang kausapin. And I remember, when we had our community service, dito sa aming province, um kailangan munang magpaalam sa chieftain nila before you can provide help to their community. Yan. So, those are the things that we need to consider. Yung rights naman nila, so make sure that people can access help fairly and without discrimination. Hindi porke walang mayaman mahirap dito. Lahat sila pwedeng makatanggap ng PFA. And help people to claim their rights and access available support. Act only in the best interest of any person that you encounter. Okay, so these are the do's and don'ts or ethical do's and don'ts as a guidance to avoid causing further harm to the person, to provide the best care possible and to act only in their best interest. So, what are the do's? Be honest and trustworthy. Okay? Maging totoo tayo at kailangan trustworthy tayo. Respect people's right to make their own decisions. We do not push them to do something that is against their own will. So be aware of and set aside your own biases and prejudice. Make it clear to people that even if they refuse help now, pwede pa rin silang maka-access ng help in the future. And respect privacy and keep the person's story confidential if this is appropriate. Okay? And if this is appropriate? Kasi there are times na kahit confidential yung situation, if yung binanggit sa'yo na information can cause harm, hindi lang sa sarili niya, but also can also risk people around them. So, syempre, there is a need for you to take action, but with the help of other people, lalong-lalo na estudyante kayo. So, you can ask for assistance from professionals. So, behave appropriately by considering the person's culture, age, and gender. So, may naalala ulit ako, isa sa mga nag-o-OJT sa isang basta parang nag-internship sila. So, may kausap sila and siguro napangiti lang and ang nangyari, nagalit yung magulang nung kausap nung mga interns dahil nga, kumbaga parang para sa kanila, they don't consider it appropriate to smile or laugh doon during their internship na nakikipag-usap sila dun sa client. So, ganun din, ethically, dapat alam natin at maging aware tayo doon sa ating mga behaviors when talking to other people. What are the don'ts? So, do not exploit your relationship as helper. So, hindi mo kumbaga parang 'di ba usually yung iba naka-video pa, naka-picture pa, dahil sila nga ay helping, 'di ba? So, do not exploit your relationship as a helper. Do not ask the person for any money or favor for helping them. Don't make false promises practices or give false information. Like for example, "Oh, sige tutulungan kita, hahanapin natin yung, magulang mo," ganyan. So, mahirap promise lalo na kung hindi naman gano'n kadaling gawin yon. Don't exaggerate your skills. Kung ano lang talaga yung kaya ninyo, then yun lang yung i-offer ninyo. Don't force help on people and don't be intrusive or pushy. Don't pressure people to tell you their story and don't share the person's story with others. And don't judge the person for their actions or feelings. So, maaring sa kanilang pag-share, 'di ba? Merong mga mali silang ginawa. Hindi natin sila i-judge. Okay? Hindi natin sila sasabihin na bakit mo ginawa 'yon, 'di ba? So, we are just there to listen. Okay? Now, um, how do we adapt to what you do to take the account of the person's culture? So, whenever there is a crisis event, there are often people of various cultural backgrounds. So, lalo-lalo na, katulad nga yan, nagpunta ang mga taga Manila going to the Visayan region, di ba? So, may different cultural backgrounds doon. So, um, this can be yung mga minorities or mga marginalized people, 'di ba? So culture determines on how we relate to people and what is all right and not all right to say and do. So in terms of dress, so kailangan we dress appropriately. Okay? So kung kunwari magpo-provide ka ng PFA, hindi ka naman nakapangbahay kapag nagpo-provide ka ng PFA sa kanila, no? And dress that will impact people, be in need of certain clothing items to keep their dignity and customs. So language, what is the customary way of greeting people in this culture? Yan. Ito ba yung parang pag na-meet mo sila, hi, tapos biglang beso-beso na kaagad? Ano ba yung language na kailangan na gamitin natin sila? Do we speak in English dahil nga PFA ito? Okay? Ano ba yung language na ginagamit nila? If they speak a language na hindi mo naman kaya, so pwede kayong mag-request ng mga interpreters or kung ano yung kaya nilang kumbaga parang kaya naman nilang magtagalog. So, you just inform them that they can speak kung ano yung kaya nilang um, gamitin na salita, 'di ba? And in gender, age, and power, so this should affect yung affected women only be approached by women helpers. So dapat ba babae sa babae? Okay, who may I approach? In other words, the head of the family or the community. Ito yung sinabi ko sa inyo kanina. Dapat ba dumaan ka muna sa chieftain ng isang tribe, 'di ba? O kaya ng isang grupo, o dadaan ka ba muna sa barangay kasi meron silang mga certain protocols na kailangan sundin. O kaya naman ng mga elders, 'yan. O kaya yung mga magulang muna before you can provide. So, touching and behavior. So, what are the usual customs around touching people? Okay lang ba na humawak sa kamay? Baka mamaya sexual harassment na siya. Is it all right to hold someone's hand or touch their shoulder? Are there special things to consider in terms of behavior around the elderly, children, women, or others? Yan. So, in terms of beliefs and religion, who are the different ethnic and religious groups among affected people? What beliefs or practices are important to the people affected, and how might they understand or explain what has happened? Okay. So, be aware of other emergency response measures. So, PFA is part of a broader response to large humanitarian emergencies. So, when hundreds or thousands of people are affected, different types of emergency response measures take place. Okay? So, isa na ito, yung PFA. So, pwedeng search and rescue operations, 'di ba? O kaya naman emergency healthcare, yung mga nagpo-provide ng medical missions, yan. Nagpo-provide ng shelter, mga pabahay, nagdi-distribute ng food, yan, yung namimigay ng mga damit, yan. Family tracing kapag may nawawalang pamilya and child protection activities. So often it is challenging for aid workers and volunteers to know exactly what services are available. So this is true during mass disasters, yung katulad nga ng sa Yolanda, yung mga biglang nagkakaroon ng mga lindol, anything na mga kumbaga parang talagang mahirap ma-identify kaagad kung ano yung need. So Unlike yung kunwari kapag nasunugan, alam mo na ang kanilang, isa sa mga need nila is yung, shelter and clothing o kaya naman food. Pero kapag merong mga disasters minsan ang dami nilang mga needs, 'di ba? So, kumbaga parang kailangan muna nating maging aware kung ano yung mga services and supports na, kailangan nating i-provide at alamin natin kung ano yung available. So that we can share information with people who are helping and tell them how to access practical help. Okay? So dapat ma-identify muna natin ano yung available muna sa mga resources nila. Yan. So whenever possible in responding to a crisis situation, follow the direction of relevant authorities managing the crisis. So merong mga head ng crisis interventions. So learn what emergency responses are being organized. Hindi tayo basta-basta na lang papasok at magpo-provide ng PFA. And what resources are available to help people. Don't get in the way of search and rescue or emergency medical personnel kasi baka mamaya mapasama pa kayo dun sa isa-search and rescue. And know your role and the limits of your role. So in providing PFA, so kailangan natin ng good communication with people in distress. Dapat alam din nating maging prepared to help. The PFA action principles of look, listen, and link, and how to end your help. So let's start with good communication with people in distress. So the way you communicate with someone in distress is very important. So maging kalmado tayo and we show our understanding. So with this, it can help people who are in distress to be feeling safe and secured. They will feel that they are being understood, respected, and cared for appropriately. So someone who has been through a distressing event may want to tell you their story. So syempre, yung iba sa kanila, gusto nilang mag-share. But there are some who do not. So, listening to someone's story can be a great support. So, kapag nakinig ka sa kanila, marirealize nila na there's someone who is parang here to help. Kumbaga, kahit through listening lang. So, it is important not to pressure anyone to tell you what they have been through. Okay? Huwag ninyong pipilitin. And some people may not want to speak about what has happened in their circumstances, lalong-lalo na if nato-trauma pa sila or kumbaga may traumatic experiences pa sila o kaya naman ay meron pa silang pinagdadaanan na hindi pa nila kaya talagang i-share. So however, they may value it if you stay with them quietly. Kumbaga parang ipakita mo lang sa kanila you are still there. So let them know that you are there if they want to talk or offer practical support like a meal or a glass of water. Don't talk too much. Hindi ikaw yung dapat na magsasalita dyan. Allow for silence. Keep silent for a while. May give the person space and encourage them to share you if they wish. So to communicate well, be aware of both your words and body language, such as facial expression. So sabi ko nga sa inyo kanina, maging aware tayo sa facial expressions natin. Baka yung mga simpleng movement ng mga labi natin can look like we are smiling or laughing o kaya naman yung mga mata natin baka pairap-irap siya, 'di ba? Mga eye contact, hindi tayo tumitingin sa kanila so baka isipin nila na we are not interested. Yung mga gestures natin like for example, naka-cross yung hands natin o naka-cross legs tayo na magmumukha tayong hindi interesado and the way we sit or stand in relation to other person. Now, each culture has its own particular ways of behaving that are appropriate and respectful. So, speak and behave in ways that take into account the person's culture, age, gender, customs, and religion. So, these are the things that we need to say and do, and the things not to say and do. So, yung dapat nating gawin is to provide a quiet place to talk and minimize outside distractions. Okay? So, pwede natin silang i-invite sa isang safe space, di ba? And respect privacy and keep the person's story confidential. Hindi natin siya i-share sa mga kasamahan natin, especially if inappropriate yun na i-share unless kailangan-kailangan dahil kunwari para makatulong ang ibang tao sa kanila. Okay? As long as hindi ito um, kumbaga parang makakasira doon sa confidentiality ng information. Stay near the person but keep an appropriate distance depending on their age, gender, and culture. Especially if you are a male and then you are helping another female victim, 'di ba? So kailangan mas maingat tayo doon. Let them know you are listening. For example, nod your head or say, mhm. O yung mga verbal cues, 'di ba, na tayo ay nakikinig. Pero wag naman yung paulit-ulit na mhm, mhm, mhm. O kaya naman sobra yung pagnanod natin ng head. So, kumbaga yung tamang ano lang, mga verbal cues lang natin. Be patient and calm. Okay. Ano naman yung mga hindi natin dapat na gawin? Don't pressure someone to tell their story. Don't interrupt or rush someone's story. Don't touch the person. And don't judge what they have done or haven't done. Okay? Wag natin sasabihin na dapat hindi mo yan ginawa. Okay? O kaya, maswerte ka nga eh, nakaligtas ka. So additionally, doon sa mga bagay na dapat nating gawin, provide factual information. So, if you have it, so ipo-provide natin sa kanila. Pero kapag hindi natin alam, huwag tayo magmamaalam. So, be honest about what we know and what we don't know. So, kapag may tinanong sa iyo at hindi mo alam, pwede mong sabihin na, baka hindi ko po alam. Aalamin ko po muna, pwede ko pong tingnan kung paano natin malalaman ang kasagutan dun sa mga tanong ninyo. So, give information in a way that the person can understand and gawin nating simple lang yung information. Acknowledge how they are feeling and any losses or important events they tell you about, such as loss of their home or death of a loved one. So we can express, I am so sorry. I can imagine this is very sad for you. So acknowledge the person's strengths and how they have helped themselves and allow for silence. Another don'ts I don't make up things you don't know. Don't use terms that are too technical. Don't tell someone else's story. So, di natin ipagkukwento sa iba yung na-share sa atin. Don't talk about your own troubles. Hindi mo time na mag-share ng mga kwento mo. Yan. Sasabihin mo, "Ako nga ganito yung nangyari sa akin." Don't give false promises, okay? Don't give false reassurances. Don't think and act as if you must solve all the person's problems for them. Don't take away the person's strengths and sense of being able to care for themselves. Don't talk about people in negative terms, okay? Like for example, don't call them crazy or mad. So, how do we prepare to help? So, first, learn about the situation. Ano ba yung nangyari? So, sometimes chaotic pa yung situation and often need urgent action. So, however, wherever possible, before entering the crisis site, try to get accurate information about the situation. Baka naman sugod tayo ng sugod tapos hindi naman natin alam yung pinakang situation. So, um, para malaman natin itong mga information na ito, alamin natin yung crisis event. What happened? When and where did it take place? How many people are likely to be affected and who they are? Kanina natin ito tatanong doon sa mga tao like for example yung mga leader ng ano. And usually this is done by leader to leader. Hindi naman lahat ng mga PFA responders ay tatanungin ito. But sometimes madalas nangyayari ito kapag grupo ito, kinakandak ito, kumbaga nagkakaroon na kaagad ng orientation before pa kayo pumunta do'n. So, dapat alam ninyo yung mga services and supports na available sa kanila. So, who is providing for basic needs like emergency, medical care, yung mga food, water, shelter, or tracing family members. Where and how can people access those services? Who else is helping? Are community members involved in responding? So, dapat alam ninyo to kasi baka mamaya yung mga pinakikinggan natin, sasabihin nila, "Wala nga pong tumutulong sa'min, walang bibigay ng food." So, with that information na alam ninyo na may services palang gano'n, puwede ninyong sabihin na, dito sa ganitong barangay, dito pala kukunin ang mga food ng mga nasa ganitong lugar, 'yan, do'n po kayo pupunta." So, that is linking already, okay. And safety and security concerns. Itatanong din natin, is the crisis event over or continuing? Such as may aftershock ba from the earthquake or meron ba mga continuing conflict? Like for example, kapag nasa war zone, ganyan. What dangers can be in the environment such as rebels, landmines, or damaged infrastructures? So are there areas to avoid entering because there are some that are not secure? Kunwari mga physical dangers or because you are not allowed to be there, 'di ba? Lalong-lalo na sa mga war zones o kaya naman um, during pandemic yung mga bawal ka pumasok sa loob ng mga hospitals kasi nga um, masyadong um, kumbaga mapanganib, 'di ba? And these are the action principles of PFA. So ito yung look, listen, and link. Okay? In look, crisis situations can change rapidly. Okay? What you find at the scene may be different from what you learned before entering the crisis situations. Hindi lahat ng pinag-aralan natin sa mga libro, sa mga palabas, can be the same as doon sa nangyari doon sa crisis situation. So therefore, it is important to take time, even a few moments, to look around before offering help. So check for safety, check for people with obvious urgent basic needs, and check for people with serious distress reactions. Safety. So look for safety. What dangers can you see in the environment, such as active conflict, damaged roads, unstable buildings, fire or flooding? So can you be there without likely harm to people or yourselves? Okay? So ano yung important message dito? If you are not certain about the safety of the crisis site, huwag kang pumunta. Okay? Huwag mong ipipilit. Huwag kang magmamaalam na kaya mong pumunta doon. Okay? So uunahin natin yung safety mo din. Okay? And try to get help for people in need. So if possible, 'di ba? Try to communicate with people in distress from a safe distance. So kunwari, kailangan mo talagang kumausap ng isang may sakit, 'di ba? So you can do that in a safer way. So meron tayong distance, social distancing, 'di ba? Or physical distancing, I'm so sorry. Physical distancing, enough physical distancing para hindi ka rin mahawa at hindi ka rin makahawa. So people with obvious or urgent basic needs. So does anyone appear to be critically injured and in need of emergency medical help? So does anyone seem to need rescuing, such as people trapped or in immediate danger? So does anyone have obvious urgent basic needs such as protection from the weather, torn clothing, and which people may need help in terms of accessing basic services. Baka ito yung mga mahihirap, 'di ba? And ask special attention to protective from discrimination and violence. Who else is available around me to help? Baka pwedeng humanap ka ng ibang tao na pwede ding mag-provide ng help. So, know your role and try to get help for people who need special assistance or who have obvious urgent basic needs. Refer critically injured people to medical personnel. Hindi ikaw ang magpo-provide ng medical assistance sa kanila. Okay? Or others trained in physical first aid. Or kung merong mas, kunwari marunong ka rin ng first aid, pero meron namang mas marunong sa'yo, wag mo nang pangunahan yung mga medical personnels. Okay? Pag walang-wala na lang, that's the time that you can provide. Okay? But ask for another person to look for a more trained person or yung mga medical professionals talaga. People with serious distress, so look for people with this distress reactions. Okay, anong gagawin? Tanungin sila, meron ba mga tao who appear extremely upset, not able to move on their own? Kumbaga parang they cannot function well, not responding to others, or baka mga in shock or trauma. Where and who are the most distressed people? Baka ito yung mga babae, bata, matatanda, 'di ba? And consider how many benefit from PFA and how you can best help. Now, in terms of listen, so this is the next step. Listening properly to people who are helping in is essential to understand their situations and needs to help them to feel calm and to be able to offer appropriate help. Okay, so try to approach people who may need support, ask about people's needs and concerns, listen to people, and help them to feel calm. Okay? So, yung ating attention dapat nakafocus lang sa kanila. We listen to them, we listen to their concerns, and provide them with caring and showing respect. So, in listening, we approach people who may need support, 'di ba? Yung mga tao, we approach them respectfully according to their culture. We try to introduce first ourselves. Hindi tayo basta-basta makikipag-usap sa kanila. We provide them our name and our organization. Like for example, so my name is Miss Angela. I am from the College of Science. From the University of Santo Tomas. Ayan. So, yun yung name and organization. As if you can provide help. Okay. So, i-inform mo sila, paano po ba namin kayo matutulungan? And kung possible, okay, kunwari, ano kayo, nasa labas, maraming tao. So, tatanungin mo, meron po ba tayong mas maayos na place or safer place na pwede tayo mag-usap para mas magkaintindihan po tayo. So, yan. Now, help the person feel comfortable. Okay? So, wag natin silang um, dadagdagan pa ng mga isipin na magiging uncomfortable sila. So, pwedeng, kunwari, baka napapansin ninyo na sila ay nangangailangan ng tubig o makakain. So, offer muna natin yung mga basic needs nila. So, try to keep the person safe. Remove the person from immediate danger if it is safe to do so. And try to protect the person from exposure to the media. 'Di ba? Yung mga maraming mga nagvi-video, mga nagpi-picture, o kaya naman mga shine-share sa sa social media. So, ilayo natin sila. And if the person is very distressed, try to make sure that they are not alone. Hindi natin sila iiwanan basta-basta. Lalo-lalo na kunwari nalaman natin, oh, naging suicidal yung tao. So, kailangan merong tao na makakasama sila para kumbaga mag-assist sa kanila. And ask for people's needs and concerns. So, although some needs may be obvious, kunwari, kailangan nila ng blanket, mga pagkain, ayan. So, um, minsan, baka naman gula-gulanit na yung mga damit nila. So, ipoprovide natin sa kanila yon. Always ask what people need and what concerns do they have. Okay? Baka naman mamaya mag-offer tayo tapos i-provide na pala sa kanila. Find out what is important to them at this moment and help them work out at uh, based on their priorities. So, listen to people and help them feel calm. So, stay close to the person. Wag natin silang i-pressure na magsalita. So, we listen to their case if they want to talk about what happened. And if they are very distressed, help them feel calm and try to make sure that they are not alone. So, after listening to them, ang next and last part ng PFA is link. Okay? So, people may feel vulnerable, isolated, or powerless after a distressing event. So, they may be unable to access their usual supports, okay? Or they may find themselves suddenly living in stressful situations or conditions. Thus, linking people with practical support is a major part of PFA. So, ano ba yung link? We help people address their basic needs and access services, help people cope with problems, give information, connect people with loved ones, and social support. Linking can be kunwari, they are in distress. Hindi ka naman mental health professional. Kailangan nila ng mental health professional services. 'Di ba? So, we cannot provide that. So, we need to link them to mental health professionals. So, yun yung ibig sabihin ng link. So, ano ba yung mga frequent needs nila? Basic needs, kunwari shelter, food and water, sanitation, health services para sa mga injured, ayan, understandable and correct information about the event. Kunwari, yung mga loved ones sila, baka napalayo sila. Ano ba yung mga available services na puwedeng i-provide sa kanila o hindi nila alam na meron pala, being able to contact loved ones, friends, and other social supports, access to specific support related to one's culture or religion, baka nangangailangan sila ng spiritual support, so ililink natin sila sa mga pare, 'di ba? So being consulted and involved in important decisions. By the way, yung sinabi kong pare, ito ay sa mga pari nila. Kasi baka mamaya sila naman ay pastor ang meron sila, so ililink natin sila sa mga pastors nila. Hindi natin ipipilit na, ipo-provide ang isang spiritual help from another religion kung hindi naman yun yung, paramdam sa kanila ng help. But if they are willing to parang accept yung help from a priest kahit na iba ang kanilang religion, then that's the time that you can offer them at ililink mo sila doon. Now, help people address basic needs and access services. Okay? So, immediately during or after a crisis event, tulungan natin sila na ma-meet nila muna yung mga basic needs nila. So, tatanungin natin sila ano ba yung mga kailangan nila. Alamin din natin ano yung meron na sila. Okay? Kumbaga parang meron ba silang healthcare, clothing, or items for feeding small children. Try to link them to the available help that is parang that can be provided to them. So make sure vulnerable or marginalized people are not overlooked. Baka kasi mamaya yung mga marginalized people yung mas napapabayaan pa. Okay? Follow up with people if you promise to do so. But of course, sabi ko nga, do not promise something na hindi naman natin kayang i-provide. So help people to cope with problems. So help people identify supports in their life. Yan, yung family, friends, loved ones na makakatulong sa kanilang present situation. So kunwari, meron silang kamag-anak sa malayo na sa tingin nila ay kailangan nilang makausap. So ililink natin sila doon. Give practical suggestions for people to meet their own needs. For example, explain how the person can register to receive food, yung nabanggit ko kanina. Kung hindi nila alam na may nagbibigay pala ng mga food sa kanilang barangay. So, sasabihin ninyo saan ito available, anong oras, ano ang kailangan gawin. Ask the person to consider how they cope with difficult situations in the past and affirm their ability to cope with the current situation. And also ask the person what helps them to feel better. Encourage them to use positive coping strategies and avoid negative coping strategies. So, we try to encourage them to have a positive coping strategies like getting enough rest, eat regularly if possible, drink water, talk and spend time with family and friends if meron silang makakausap, discuss problems with someone you trust, do activities that help them relax. So, tutulungan natin sila, 'di ba, kung ano yung pwede nilang gawin. Hindi natin sila pipiliting kumanta kung hindi naman sila kumakanta o hindi nila yun ginagawa. So do physical exercise. Find safe ways to help others in a crisis and get involved in community activities. So we discourage their negative coping strategies, yung mga pagtitake ng drugs, yung basta matutulog na lang ng buong araw, work all the time, walang rest or walang relaxation dahil nga baka mamaya yun yung way nila to parang forget the things that's happening to them. Okay? I-discourage na natin sila na i-isolate nila yung sarili nila from friends and loved ones. Kumbaga, remind them not to neglect their personal hygiene. Baka hindi na sila nakakapag-provide ng parang personal hygiene nila. And remind them not to be violent. Okay? Yung kumbaga, i-discourage natin yung violence sa kanila. So part din ng link is to give information. Give information about the event, the loved ones na or others who are impacted, their safety, their rights, and how to access the services and things that they need. So give information about the things that they need to consider. So find out where to get correct information. Baka mamaya mga um, fake news lang pala yung matanggap nila, 'di ba? Kasi 'pag minsan, "Oh, dito daw pupunta," pero yun pala, hindi pala tama yung information na binigay sa kanila o mali yung nakuha nilang information. Okay? So, dapat alam nila yon na ma-update sila. Try to get as much information as you can before you approach people to offer support. And try to keep updated about the state of the crisis, safety issues. Baka mamaya, tulad yan, meron nag-o-offer kunwari ng help sa mga nasalanta ng taal, di ba? Tapos biglang mapapasama pa pala kayo doon kasi nga hindi na pala safe na lumapit doon sa place na yon. So, kumbaga dapat updated kayo before kayo mag-provide ng help. Yan. Make sure people are told what is happening about any plans. If services are available, make sure people know about it and how they can access it. So, provide people contact details for services or refer them directly. So, kung hindi available yung mga mobile phones or anything, so tulungan natin sila na kumbaga parang maka-access dito. Okay, make sure vulnerable people also know about existing services. So explain the source of the information that you are providing and how reliable it is. Kasi syempre, part ito ng pagiging trustworthy. Kasi nga, syempre, lalong-lalo na kung sila ay biktima ng mga maling impormasyon before at hindi sila trustful. So makakatulong ito na maipakita natin sa kanila na reliable person ka at reliable din ang information na binibigay mo sa kanila. Kasi kapag nagkamali tayo, mahirap nang ibalik yung trust ng mga tao. Only say what you know. Huwag tayong gagawa ng mga information na hindi natin sigurado. Okay? Don't give false reassurances and keep messages simple and accurate. Okay, repeat the message to be sure people hear and understand the information. So, ulitin lang sa kanila, dito po, pupunta. Ulitin ko po, dito po yung ating mga parang places na pwede ninyong puntahan pag nangangailangan kayo ng food, pag nangangailangan kayo ng assistance sa mga shelter, o kaya naman ito po yung panahon kung kailan magdi-distribute po ng mga clothings, yan. O kaya dito po kapag kailangan nyo po ng parang spiritual health, mga confessions, may darating po na pastor, yan, pastor ng ganito pong parang sabihin na natin ay ganitong religion, ayan. So, ibibigay natin yung mga information na yun sa kanila. So, connect with loved ones and social support. So, help keep families together. Keep children and with their parents, okay? Wag natin silang ilalayo doon, and loved ones. Help people to contact friends and relatives so they can get support. And if a person lets you know that prayer, religious practice, or support from religious leaders might be helpful for them, so i-connect natin sila sa mga spiritual communities. So, help bring affected people together to help each other. So, for example, ask for help, care for the elderly, or link individuals without family to other community members. Now, from look, listen, and link, syempre, after linking them to other services na talagang mas kailangan nila, we need to end our help. So, how do we end our help? So, when helping, dapat alam natin when to stop. Okay, when to stop providing help. Okay, because this will depend on the context of the crisis. So, yung role natin and the situation and the needs of the people you are helping. Baka kasi mamaya hindi na nila tayo kailangan, nandun pa rin tayo, so nakakaabala lang tayo doon sa kanilang pagmo-move on o kaya sa kanilang development, 'di ba? Baka naman nagiging over-dependent na sila sa atin. So, kailangan alam natin kung kailan tayo magsa-stop sa pagpo-provide ng help. Use your best judgment of the situation, so the person's needs and your own needs. So, if appropriate, explain to the person that you are leaving, and if someone else will be helping them from that point on, try and introduce that to the person. If you have linked the person with other services, let them know what to expect and be sure that they have the details to follow up. No matter what your experience has been with the person, kahit magbuti, maganda, you can say goodbye in a positive way by wishing them well. So after ending your help, of course, syempre, merong impact din yan doon sa mga nagpo-provide ng PFA or mga mental health support. So, anong dapat na gawin? We need to care for ourselves and our colleagues. I remember when listening to one PFA training, sabi ng isang psychologist, sa Yolanda ito, Dumating yung time after ilang weeks na sila ay nagpo-provide ng PFA at saka ng crisis intervention, dumating yung point na sila din mismo ay affected na din. So, they forgot that they also need self-care. Okay? And during that time, napansin sila noong kasamahan nila. And that's the time na sinabi doon sa psychologist na, oh, ano ka muna, stop ka muna sa ginagawa mo and you need to parang slow down at you need to focus first on caring for yourself kasi baka mamaya siya mismo yung mag-breakdown. Okay? So, we need to take care for ourselves and our colleagues. So, we need to know when to get ready for help. We need to manage our stress and, of course, yung rest and reflect. So, let's start. So, consider how you can best get ready to be a helper in crisis settings. So, whenever possible, learn about crisis situations and roles and responsibilities of different kinds of helpers. So, also consider your own health. Okay, baka mamaya hindi ka naman pala pwede na mag-provide ng help at baka mamaya dun meron ka ring dala-dala, may karga ka. So, possible na baka hindi ka din pwede. So, dapat isa yun sa nako-consider natin. And personal or family issues that may cause severe stress that you take on a helping role for others. Kasi baka mamaya yung situation ng tao is the same as your former issues, 'di ba? So baka mas makasama pa doon sa situation. Make an honest decision about whether you are ready to help in this particular crisis situation and at this particular time. Okay? Kapag hindi kasi talaga pwede, tapos ni-request ka, you can just respectfully and just tell them your situation. So, managing stress, okay? So, a main source of stress for helpers is yung day-to-day job stress. Actually, makipag-usap ka sa mga dalawa o tatlong tao, kahit isa lang na may matinding problema, nakaka-drain na siya. Okay? So, dapat alam mo yung dapat na gawin. So, long working hours, overwhelming responsibilities, 'pag hindi mo rin alam yung job description mo, baka naman sumosobra na yung ginagawa mo, 'yan. Poor communication or management, hindi masyadong na-organize yung ginagawa. And working in areas which are not secure are examples of job-related stress that can affect helpers. So consider how you can best manage your own stress. So to support and be supported by your fellow helpers. So the following suggestions may be helpful in managing your stress. The first one is think about what has helped you cope in the past and what you can do to stay strong. Try to take time to eat, rest, and relax even for short periods. Baka kailangan mo ng mga 5 minutes na rest, 'di ba? O kunwari makapag-usap ka. Pwede na mag-set ka ng kunwari an hour for each person and then in between that period, meron kang 5 to 15 minutes na interval kung kaya naman, 'di ba? Kung hindi, at least kahit mga ilang minuto lang na interval para hindi naman ikaw masyadong mahirapan. Okay? So, kailangan mo ng um, parang self-care time. Okay? Try to keep reasonable working hours so you do not become too exhausted. Hindi ka naman 24/7 na pwedeng nagpo-provide ng help. Yan. Although during pandemic talaga kahit hanggang hating gabi, yung mga mental health professionals talaga nakaka-receive sila ng mga calls, 'di ba? From people na talagang nangangailangan ng mental health na help. Okay? So, consider for example, dividing the workload among helpers. Baka may mga kasama kayo. So, kung kunwari, you have a lot of clients na ina-address pero nakita mo na may kasama ka na kaya pang tumanggap ng iba. So, you can share it with them para hindi ka naman nahihirapan. So people may have many problems after a crisis event. So you may feel inadequate or frustrated when you cannot help people with all of their problems. So minsan nangyayari din talaga sa atin yan, ano. And remember that you are not responsible for solving all of people's problems. So we cannot answer all their concerns. And do what you can help uh, you do what you can don't do what you can to help people help themselves. Okay, so minimize your intake of alcohol, caffeine, or nicotine, and avoid prescription drugs. Okay, kasi baka mamaya nakakadagdag pa siya sa mga stressors mo. Okay, check in with fellow helpers to see how they are doing. Baka nangangailangan din sila ng help from you. Find ways to support each other. Talk with friends, loved ones, or other people that you trust for support. Actually, sa amin sa guidance, may mga time na talagang, alam niyo yun, yung parang mag-uusap lang kami para lang maglabas ng mga um, issues namin sa buhay para lang mabawasan yung mga dala-dala namin, 'di ba? Para lang at least, 'di ba, parang makabawas ng load na nararamdaman, ayan. And last is the rest and reflect. So taking time for rest and reflection is an important part of ending your helping role. So the crisis situation and needs of people you have met have been very challenging, and it can be difficult to bear their pain and suffering. So after helping a person or a group of people in a crisis situation, of course, it's really helpful to take time to reflect on the experiences for yourself and to rest. So, the following suggestions may be helpful to your own recovery. And after helping in a crisis situation, take time to reflect on the experience for yourself and to rest. So, the following suggestions are to talk about your experience of helping in a crisis situation with a supervisor, colleagues, or someone else that you trust. So, kumbaga parang may unload mo lang yung nasa isip at saka nasa puso mo would be very helpful. Acknowledge what you were able to do to help others, even in small ways. Yung makapag-abot ka lang ng tubig sa mga nangangailangan ay malaking bagay na. Learn to reflect on and accept what you did well and what did not go very well, and the limits of what you could do in the circumstances. So take some time, if possible, to rest and relax before beginning your work and life duties again. So hindi agad yung diretso sa work. So if you find yourself with upsetting thoughts or memories about the event, kung ikaw ay nakaranas ng parang nalulungkot ka, you feel very nervous, medyo nakakaapekto siya sa iyong pagtulog, or nagiging cause yan para mag-inom ka ng mga alcohol or to take drugs. So, it is important that you seek support from someone you can trust or seek for professional help. So, speak to a healthcare professional or mental health professional if available. Okay, kung merong mga psychologist or guidance counselors na pwedeng tumulong sa inyo so that sila naman yung magpo-provide sa inyo. Okay? So kapag yung mga nararamdaman ninyo na ito, yung nabanggit, mga hindi pagkatulog, ayan, at lalo-lalo na kapag lumagpas na siya ng ilang araw, linggo, or umabot na siya ng buwan, so talagang kailangan nyo na ng professional help. Okay? So I think that covers the whole unit for PFA, and I hope you were able to learn more aside from the videos that I have provided you. You learn more about PFA, and ma-encourage din kayo na kumbaga parang provide help to other people who are in need. So thank you very much for listening.